Now we will discuss how CEQA protects communities and the environment. CEQA protects public health and supports environmental justice by enabling everyday Californians to know and speak up about polluting projects that are being planned in their neighborhoods. No other law or process protects Californians in this way. Tiffany Yang, Land Use Director, California Environmental Justice Alliance. A massive rail yard project, known as SCIG, was proposed to be located across the street from homes and schools in the low-income community of West Long Beach. Because the project would profoundly affect public health, 3 public agencies and several environmental justice groups brought a CEQA challenge, which was then joined by the Attorney General. The case was successful. The court held that the lead agency, the Port of LA, must conduct a proper analysis of the project's significant impacts on air quality, including its cumulative impacts. Residents of West Long Beach will breathe easier thanks to CEQA. A large Amazon warehouse project that would have generated over 3,000 vehicle trips per day, or more than 1 million trips per year, was proposed in South Fresno. Trucks from the project would travel along route shared by children attending a local elementary school. With CEQA as leverage, the community reached an agreement with the developer to reduce the project's impacts on air quality, noise, traffic, and light and glare. CEQA did not stop the project, but improved it. No litigation was ever filed. CEQA is often the only tool available, allowing disadvantaged communities to stand up to big developers and powerful agencies proposing large-scale, polluting projects near homes and schools. Grecia Orozco, Staff Attorney, Center on Race, Poverty, and the Environment. Environmental and community organizations brought a CEQA challenge to Kern County's approval of an ordinance accelerating oil drilling throughout the county, including in vulnerable neighborhoods. The county's ordinance would allow nearly 2,700 new oil and gas wells per year. In 2024, the Court of Appeal found the county's EIR failed to adequately analyze the project's cancer risk to residents living near multiple oil wells or to mitigate the project's impacts on groundwater levels across the county, especially in disadvantaged communities. The World Logistics Center is one of the largest warehouse complexes ever proposed in California. It would add over 14,000 truck trips each day, transporting goods from the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach to the city of Moreno Valley. In 2021, a CEQA settlement secured nearly $50 million in mitigation and other commitments to protect the affected community. The development can happen, but the community must be protected. CEQA is critical to California meeting its climate goals. It encourages local governments to build climate-resilient communities and ensures that new development projects do their fair share to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. If we want to tackle the climate crisis, we need a strong CEQA. Aruna Prabhala, Urban Wildlands Director, Senior Attorney, Center for Biological Diversity. In a CEQA settlement, 2 Walmart supercenters in the Inland Empire agreed to install rooftop solar panels, efficient heating and cooling systems, and LED lighting in their stores. This case set an important precedent for requiring big-box stores to minimize their greenhouse gas pollution. Newhall Ranch is an enormous project in LA County that would have increased GHG emissions by about 260,000 CO2 equivalent metric tons each year. After the plaintiffs prevailed in a CEQA suit, the project was revised to include measures cutting these emissions nearly in half. Newhall Ranch is currently under construction, and people are moving in. CEQA did not stop the project, but improved it. CEQA helps local governments do their part in California's fight against climate change. For over 5 decades, CEQA has protected California's sensitive wildlife, valuable open space and farmland, unique cultural resources, and iconic places. David Pettit, Senior Staff Attorney, Natural Resources Defense Council. There are numerous well-known CEQA cases protecting California's splendid wildlife. Just 3 examples are suits protecting golden eagles in San Diego County, coho salmon in Marin County, and mountain lions in the Santa Ana Mountains. Along with the Williamson Act, CEQA has been the primary state law preserving agricultural and open space lands in California. These state laws are critical, given that California loses an alarming amount of farmland every year to development. CEQA prevented the destruction of over 10,000 acres of farmland in the Bay Delta and the irreplaceable Bahia wetlands at the mouth of the Petaluma River. These are two examples among many. CEQA also has preserved unique cultural resources throughout California. For example, a recent CEQA settlement requires California State University at Long Beach State to permanently preserve a sacred tribal site, which was listed on the state and national registers of historic places, and a development proposed on the Old Point Molate Navy Base in Richmond, which is the traditional homeland of the Ohlone tribal groups. The Court of Appeal ruled the developer must consider all feasible measures to avoid impacts to the tribe's sacred burials. CEQA was the tribe's only tool to protect their cultural resources. It is no exaggeration to say California would be a different state without CEQA. This law has saved many of the state's most iconic places from destruction. For example, CEQA lawsuits ensured that new resort developments would not destroy Lake Tahoe's famous water clarity, preserved old-growth redwood groves in the headwaters forest, stopped plans in the 1980s to fill large portions of San Francisco Bay, and preserved more than 20,000 acres in the Santa Monica Mountains in Los Angeles and Ventura counties to mitigate for other development projects. Thank you for your time today. If you have any questions about this presentation, please contact one of the 4 people listed here. This presentation was brought by the organizations shown on this slide. These groups are all supporters of CEQA Works, a coalition of more than 200 environmental justice and conservation organizations dedicated to protecting and preserving CEQA.